Hi guys. So if you find that piece of paper that we started in our lesson on Monday, where we started writing down the rules and the reasons, you can add this one that's on the screen to that list of reasons so long while we wait for people to join. Canva, I think you missed what I had just said. So I'm just gonna if you can get that piece of paper or the book where you had started your reasons from Monday, if you can start adding this one onto there, and we're just going to start with this while we wait for people to arrive. So just write this down on that list where we started writing our reasons and rules, so we can slowly add to it. We're going to add 2 new reasons today. Okay, those of you who've just joined, I'm sorry for those who are hearing this for the 3rd time now, but if you can find the place where you're writing your reasons from Monday, and if you can start adding this new one onto that list for vertically opposite angles, I'm just going to give you guys a chance to write it down, and once you have it down, we can get going. For the 4th time, I'm so sorry for those of you who got here early. You must be so sick of hearing this. If you could please write down this reason in that list that we had started on Monday for our reasons and our statements and reasons. If you could add this there for me, that would be great. We're going to be adding 2 today. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes just for the latecomers to make sure that they get this in their books. And then we're going to start going with vertically opposite angles. Okay. If you need more time, can you just let me know with an emoji or unmute yourselves and just let me know, or in the chat, whichever one you want. Okay, so we're good. Excellent. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at two new rules that are also dealing with these straight lines that are intersecting each other, which is what we started on Monday. And the first one is vertically opposite angles. And you should have done this in grade 8, so it shouldn't feel super new or super scary. But, oh, you wrote a test about it. Did you do nicely? Did our lesson on Monday help at all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yay, how exciting. Okay, so we're going to just carry on with this and we'll see if you have more tests coming up, then maybe it'll be even better. Okay, so I'm just stopping my video so I can flip my screen. And let's get going. So the whole rule with vertically opposite angles, the most important thing is that they have to be straight lines. If they're not straight lines, then we can't use this rule. And when we have vertically opposite angles, it's like, I like to call it the bow tie rule, because it kind of makes a bow tie. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys, I've got the sneezes. So when we have vertically opposite angles, it means that this one and this one are equal, and that one are equal. That is our whole rule with vert-op angles being equal. So if we have a look at this, for example, I'm going to help you with these first two, and then I'm going to let you work through the third one. These are my two straight lines. So I can see that this angle is equal to that angle, which means I can say x is equal to 120 degrees. And then in brackets, my reason would be vert-op angles equal. Okay, so it's not a super complicated one, but it does pop up all the time. It's actually one of those rules that comes up in matric, and people have forgotten about it because you learned it so long ago, but it's one that you'll be seeing for many years. So here again are our straight lines, which means this angle is equal to that angle. And now it looks more confusing because there's letters and numbers, but we can just write it as an equation. So 2x minus 10 is equal to x plus 30. And our reason is vert-op angles are equal. And then, like we spoke about on Monday, it's just a normal equation. So I want to get my x's on one side, and I'm going to get my numbers on the other side. It's okay, thanks for letting me know. So I'm going to have 2x minus x on the left, because remember, change your sign when it moves. And on the right, I'm going to have 30 plus 10, and 2x minus 1x is x, and 30 plus 10 is 40. And so I have found what x is. Okay, so I don't want you to freak out with this next one. Think of it in the exact same way, because we're still early on in this lesson. I'm going to give you a helping hand, and I'm going to do that for you. And I want you all to help me find x. Let's see if we can find x in this situation. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time. Just do your best. If you have a question, ask. I'm happy to answer. If you're confused with something, ask. Do we have anyone who's feeling good with this, who thinks they can talk us through? Is it still too early for me to be picking on you guys? Taking the silences, yes. Okay, so let's work through this one slowly. I know that those two angles that I've drawn arrows for have to be equal to each other. So I know that 2x plus 30 has to be equal to 58 plus x. So that was the only thing that was different here, was we just had to think about plusing. And then our reason again is going to be vert up angles are equal. And now I have a normal equation. So I'm going to move that x onto the left and the number onto the right. So I'm going to have 2x minus x is equal to 58 minus 30. And I'm going to get an answer of x equals 28 degrees. Am I going too fast? Am I not giving you enough time to try this? Is that what's happening? Just let me know. Or is it just feeling a little bit tricky? What's the situation at the moment? Where are our heads at with the geometry? Okay. Okay. For this one, I'm wanting to find, it is a little bit tricky. Yeah, no, I know. Just do your best with them. Okay, I don't mind if they're wrong. Honestly, I never mind if you're wrong. You know that. Okay. For this one, I want you to try and find all three letters, but I'm going to help you with a few things. So I'm just going to give you some hints. Firstly, if we think about what we spoke about on Monday, I want you to think about how I could find x. So x is the first thing I want you to try find. Okay, then I want you to think about z, and then I want you to think about y. And for this one, I'm going to give you guys lots of time to try and work through it, but I'd really like you to put your answers, either let me know, so either unmute and talk to me about your answers, or if you could give me your answers in the comments once you have figured these ones out. Okay, so think about your first goal is to find x, and then your second goal is to find z, and then your third goal is to find y. And as soon as you have any answers, they don't all have to be together. As soon as you have any answers, just chuck them in the chat for me and we can start going through them and talking through them together. Okay, so think about what your answers are, and as soon as you have found any, just put them in the chat for me. So x is equal to this, z is equal to this, y is equal to this. I don't mind if you can't do all of them. Just do whichever ones you think you can do and tell me what that letter would equal. And if you're struggling with typing, then just unmute yourself and you can talk to me about your answers. I don't mind anything. I just want to hear what type of answers you guys are getting. It's okay, Daphne. Okay, I have my first message in a direct message, and it is absolutely right. So well done. So trust yourself with that. Let's get some other answers coming in. Tell me what you think X could be, what could Z be, and what could Y be. Okay, we have another answer coming in for Y. Let's see. That is absolutely right for Y. So well done. So the answer that has come into me for Z and for Y are both beautiful. So you guys need to trust your guts a little bit more, I think. Now I just need an answer for X. Who thinks they feel good about their answer for X? That's okay, Sia. Thanks for letting me know. Let's have a look. Okay, so yes, that's absolutely right. So that is what X would equal. So now can you substitute your Y value into that? I know for everyone else, it seems like I'm talking to myself, but it's just because someone sent a direct message. But yes, that's absolutely right. Also, guys, don't feel embarrassed to send these messages to everyone. You're asking good questions that everyone would benefit from. And also the answers that have come in are beautiful. Send them to everyone. You should be proud of yourselves. Okay, so I'm going to start going through some of these, and the answers that came in were really good. So let's go. So what we spoke about on Monday was if we have two angles that are next to each other and they're adjacent and they share a common arm, then together they would equal 140 degrees. So I could say X plus 140 is equal to 180 degrees because of angles on a straight line. Which means that X, I'm going to move that 140 over, is going to be 40 degrees. Okay. Then for Z, Z was a nice easy one. It's directly opposite our 140. So we can say, well, Z is 140 degrees because of vertically opposite angles being equal. And Y was a bit nasty, but there were lots of different things you could do for Y. You could either use it on a straight line, or you could have done vertically opposite angles. So whichever one you preferred. So I'm going to do vertically opposite angles because that's what we're focusing on at the moment, which means X would be equal to 2Y plus 10. Vert op angles are equal. And we already know that X is 40 because we worked that out in the beginning. So 40 is equal to 2Y plus 10. I'm going to move that 10 over. So 30 is equal to 2Y, which means Y is equal to 15 degrees. Okay, can I get an idea? Can you move into the chat for me? I just want to know if you got 1, 2, or all 3 of these angles right. So where are we sitting? Or 0. 0 is also absolutely fine. Let me know how these went. So 0, I got nothing right. 1, I got 1 right. 2, I got like X and Y or X and Z. And then that's totally fine. If you're getting none, don't feel sad. It's totally fine. Remember, we're at the beginning of the lesson. It just takes practice and we have to sort of get into the right mindset. Okay. That's okay. Okay. Oh, well done. Remember, the more we practice, the better these will get. Okay. So these two now go right back to the basics. Let's see how we can do with these two questions. I want you to think of vert up angles that we learned right at the beginning. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top for those who were late. Vertically opposite angles is if we have a straight line and another straight line, the angles that are opposite each other are equal to each other. So if I have a look at this example here, x was equal to 120 degrees because they are vertically opposite each other. Here, 2x minus 10 was equal to x plus 30 because they are vertically opposite each other. So I want you to keep that rule in mind. And I want you to try just these first two questions. So just A and B for me. Okay. When you have an answer, just put it into the comments for me. Let's see if we can get an answer for A and an answer for B. What would X equal in A? What would X equal? Think about your vertically opposite angle reason. Beautiful, Kamba. That's really, really good. Excellent. Look at these answers. Great. Okay, so this line and this line are two straight lines, which means this angle has to equal that angle. And so X is going to equal 135 degrees because they are vertically opposite angles. Excellent. Okay. Now our second one is a little bit nastier. Kamba was on a really good track with it. I want you to think, I'm going to help you with setting up this equation here because it'll help you in your next question. This has to equal that. So I'm going to write 3x equals 66. So lots of you were able to see that. I could see that in the comments. Oh, sorry, I left off my equals here. But then if I want to find x, I have to divide both sides by 3. And so x is 22 degrees. Okay, excellent. Good answers coming in. Okay, now this one's a little bit harder, but I want you to think of it in exactly the same way. So these are our two straight lines, which means this is equal to that. Okay, so I want you to think, about what equation I could write there and then what that would look like. So I know that the reason I'm going to use here is verts up angles are equal. Think about what I'm going to write as my equation. What is equal to what? And then think about how I can solve x.
Ma'am?
And find, yes.
Ma'am, you see under 3x by b?
Yes.
What did you write there? I can't.
Oh, so I just divided both by 3. So this was a 3x equals 66. And so I divided both of them by 3 to get rid of that 3.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Okay, so think about what this equation is going to look like. What is going to be equal to what? And then let's see if we can solve for x and get an answer for x. Don't let all of these numbers panic you. I know you know how to do equations. We've done them together. Well, we have our first answer and our second answer. I can agree with some of you. Some of the messages coming in with our direct messages. So it looks at the moment, but I'm very happy with some people's answers. Okay, let's see. So let's write our equation. So 2x plus 40 is equal to 4x minus 20. So I'm going to move this 2x onto that side, and I'm going to move this 20 onto that side. You don't have to do it as the same side as me. So I'm going to have 40 plus 20 is equal to 4x minus 2x, which means 60 is equal to 2x. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And so x is going to be 30 degrees. So those of you who got 30, zooming in. Everyone who got 30 degrees, you are absolutely right. Well done. Sorry, this program just seems to be a little bit unhappy for the moment. I'm just gonna stop sharing it for a second, and then I'm gonna reshare the screen, okay? Don't panic if it disappears in front of you. Just wanna make sure I've got it where it needs to be. Yes, so you're absolutely on the right page. Those of you who got 30, well done. Give yourselves a high five. You are 100% right. And those of you who got 20, I think what happened was you just divided by the wrong number. But you can write down a correction now. I'm just trying to see what is happening. So just give me.
Did you stop sharing?
I did stop sharing. Something's just, my program has frozen on me. So I just didn't want it to cause an issue on your side. But it will come back up now in a second, okay? Let's try this one. Okay. Seems to be happier. Let me just get to where we're needing to go. Okay, so we have done C, and we are now going to move on to D. Unfortunately, so I'm just going to share this new screen with you. When I share it, unfortunately, it lost C because I just had to close it so that it wouldn't cause us any issues. But I'll write down the answers for C for anyone who missed it while you work on D for me, okay? 40 plus 20, that's okay. Okay, so I'm just going to write C out here again, just for those of you who missed it. And while I'm doing that, if you could work on D, that would be glorious. And I want you to think those are your two straight lines, and I want you to think about what that square means. Okay. So think about what the square means, and then think about how we could find x. So we did do a similar question to this right in the beginning. But I don't want to give too much away. Let's see if anyone can find x for me. Yeah. Yes, nice. I can move up, but it's not going to have the answers because I had to open the program again, but I can write it here for you. Okay. Okay, so if I had to write this as an equation, the answers coming in are beautiful. I can see that x plus 62 has to equal 90 degrees because of vertically opposite angles. And so I'm going to move that 62 on this side. X is equal to 90 minus 62, which means x is equal to 28 degrees. Well done. See, and you couldn't get it earlier, now you can get it because we are just becoming geniuses as the day moves on. Excellent, well done. Okay, let me know, does anyone need to sit here any longer on these 3 questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. Okay, let's move on to our next ones. You guys are doing really well. Well done. Okay, so now these are the rules that we've learned so far. Okay, let's just go through them. You don't need to write this down because you have this in your rule book that we're making already. So don't panic. I just want us to talk about them and then we're going to go through them all. First is if I have a point, all of my angles around that point have to equal 360 degrees. And the reason we use for that is angles around a point. Second one, if we have 2 adjacent angles, so adjacent means they're next to each other, which means they share an arm. Those 2 angles together have to equal 180 degrees. And the reason there is angles on a straight line. This last one, well, the second last one was one that we spoke about very briefly in our lesson on Monday. If they are at 90 degrees, then x plus y have to both equal 90 degrees. And our reason there is angles for complementary angles. Those complementary angles means 90 degrees. And our last one, which we just learned today, is if we have 2 straight lines, then the angles that are opposite each other are going to be equal to each other. And that would be vert-up angles are equal. So these are the 4 reasons we have learned so far. We are now going to have questions where we're going to mix these all together because that's how geometry starts working. Okay. So we're going to start looking at a question like this. I'm going to help you with this first one, and then I'm going to let you work on the next one by yourself. Okay, so let's go step by step. First of all, when we look at this question, we do not let it scare us because I can see that it's a panicky question. There are letters everywhere and you're like, I don't even know where to start. My advice is think of one of the reasons. So think of one of these 4 reasons that you like. So the one that you find the easiest to work with. Often for people, it's vertically opposite angles and straight lines. Those are ones that like people often find the easiest to look at. So if you can see Kumba's answer in the comment here, which is beautiful, it's because his brain automatically thought, okay, over there we have vertically opposite angles. And so then all of a sudden, something which looks tricky becomes nice and easy. So we can see, okay, well, B is 40 degrees because of vertically opposite angles. And now we know that this is 40, so we're going to put a 40 there. Okay. Excellent. D would 100% be 110. And it's because if we're looking here, we've got a straight line. And so all 3 of these angles need to equal 180. So we've got D plus 40 plus 30 needs to equal 180 angles on a straight line, which means D is going to be 110 degrees. Beautiful. So we have D and we have B. You can tell me my next one. Yes. Oh, you guys are geniuses. You don't even need me. C is 30 degrees because they are vertically opposite angles. And our last one, what is A? Don't be scared by A. Yes, A is 110 degrees, vertically opposite angles. Beautiful. Yay. Okay, so it's not so bad, right? We're just mixing all of our reasons together. Now that you are feeling okay with that, can you try B for me? Remember? Yeah, I've tried to keep both on the same page. I'm hoping you can still see both. In B, I want you to think what is going to be easiest to start with and work your way from there. So don't let it stress you out. Beautiful. You see, you've already got Z. Yes, great. Okay, so I'm super happy with the Z. I'm super happy with the Y. Just going to let you guys keep on working through it. Don't let the rest scare you. That's okay. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so let's see about which answers we have so far. The first answer that came in was that Z here would be 50 degrees. Okay, so Z is going to equal 50 degrees because of angles on a straight line. Now, I know I said this in our lesson on Monday about remembering to write your reasons, and I can't stress it enough. It's so, so important that you get that practice in, because otherwise it's going to fall right out of your heads. Okay, so we know Z is 50. And then that helps us with Y because of vertically opposite angles. Oh, sneezing again. Okay, now we have the tricky one. And there are two different ways to go about finding this. I would find the easiest way, because when I look at questions, remember everyone's brains are a little bit different. When I look at questions, I see vertically opposite angles quite easily. That's what my brain sees. But some people's brains see like straight lines, and that's fine. So if we're looking here, if I'm looking, I would see that line and that line, and I would say, well, this has to equal that. That's what my brain would see. So I would say, okay, cool. 130 has to equal x plus 6 because of vertically opposite angles, which means 130 equals 2x plus 6. So 124 equals 2x, which means x is going to equal 62. So Kamba, you were very close. If your brain doesn't naturally see vertically opposite angles, another option here
Sorry,
would
ma'am.
be, yeah?
Ma'am, please, can you move up a little bit?
Sure. Is that
Thank you,
better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So we know that that's 50 and we know that's 50. If your brain doesn't naturally see vertically opposite angles and you sort of see straight lines, then what I would recommend you do is look at a straight line here and be like, okay, all of those together have to equal 180. Or you could look at this straight line here and be like, all of those together have to equal 180. And you would get to the same answer. So it just depends on what your brain sees. And then that's what you must go with. You must sort of let it guide you with geometry. There's always more than one way to answer a question in geometry. Okay. So keeping all of that in mind, let's see if you can find my answers for C. I'm gonna give you a bit of a helping hand. Okay, I've given you a little hint with some blue lines to help you. Don't let it stress you out. Think about what plus what is equal to what. Okay, so close. You're on a really good track there with that 68, but I want you to think of it like this. Those two together have to equal this together. So if I had to write that as an equation, I would say 68 plus x is going to equal 3x. Yes, 34. That's amazing. Well done. Okay, so if I'm at a point like this, I'm then going to move my x onto this side. So I'm going to have 68 is equal to 2x, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. So I'm going to get 34 degrees for x. So Kamba, I think what happened is I think you didn't add this x in over here, and you said the 3x was 68. And that's why I came out with a slightly wrong answer. Okay, so now that should help you all. So now I know that x is 34 degrees. So now I want to know what y is. I don't think you're subtracting everything you're needing to subtract there. Think about what would make up my straight line. Ria's just killing this. She's getting all these answers just beautifully. Canva, beautiful. Yes. Yes. Okay. 68 plus 34 plus y has to equal 180 degrees because of angles on a straight line. Okay. And so y is going to equal 180 minus 68 minus 34, which means y is going to equal 78 degrees. Nice, Andile. Yes. Timwani, I think that it maybe have been an adding error. So just have a look at where your numbers are and just see if you subtracted everything that you needed. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. Let's try our next one. Oh, look at this glorious question. Okay. I want X and I want Y. Oh, sorry. Needed some more time. Let me sit there for a little bit. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so try exercise 4 for me, but just A for the moment. We're going to see how far we can get today. And I want the value for X and I want the value for Y. Let's see. So we have our X and we have our Y. And they're so great. Yes. Yes. Ah, guys, you make me proud. Okay, let's have a look. Lots of different ways to do this. Again, remember, because I told you this is just how my brain thinks, I would have thought vertically opposite angles. I would have said, okay, well, Y has to be 90 because of vertically opposite angles. And then, so if I know this is 90, and then I would have said, well, how would I find X? Either you could say that they're 90, so they're complementary, or you could have looked at the straight line and said, well, 35 plus X plus 90 needs to equal 180. Angles on a straight line, which means X is 180 minus 90 minus 35. And so X is 55 degrees. Well done. Look at these answers. I'm so chuffed. Excellent. I hope they're feeling a little bit easier. Does anyone need to stay on here?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Sure. Oh, come back. I can't hear you properly. Did you have a question? Oh, good. I'm glad it's getting a bit easier. That makes my heart happy. Okay, let's give B a try. No, you're going to be like, why? But remember, you don't panic. Look for things that you can do. Find what's going to be equal to what. See if you can find me my answer for X and then find me my answer for Y. Sure, Andele, absolutely. Let me see if I can try and get both in for you. Oh, I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to get right answers here. And I'm going to do a little dance of joy. Think about what's going to be equal to what. You're going to get a nice equation. Move your things around. And if you've got a small number, don't panic. It's not too small. I suppose I shouldn't say that. That might make you panic. So think about what's going to be equal to what. We obviously want to keep things that have the same variable first. So just look at your x's. How can we work with our x's? Yes, Daphne. Ah, yes. Okay, now you just need to find y for me. Okay, so what Daphne's got here, vertically opposite angles, 4x plus 15 needs to equal 5x minus 10, vert, op, angles equal. I'm going to move that 10 over and that 4x over. So 15 plus 10 equals 5x minus 4x. And so 25 equals x. Yes. Now I just need to find y. So for example, if I know that x is 25, that means that this is 4 times 25, which is 100, plus 15. So that angle is 115 degrees, and that should help you. Any brave adventurers for y yet? What could y equal? If you're getting a decimal, don't panic. Okay, so I get the 115 because I know that this x is 25. And so 4 times 25 plus 15, 4 times 25 would give me my 100, and 100 plus 15 will give me my 150. So I just substituted for there. Don't worry if you've got a decimal. Decimals aren't bad. Okay, so for the next one, I'm going to look at the straight line. So those two angles need to equal 180. So I know I have 115 plus 2y needs to equal 180 angles on a straight line. Okay, I'm going to move that 115 over. So 2y is going to be equal to 180 minus 115, which gives me 65. And then I need to divide both sides by 2. And so y is going to be 32 and a half. And that's our final answer. Woohoo! We're getting answers right. Okay. I think we might be, no, yeah, you thought you got it because you're not trusting yourself. You've got to trust the geometry to lead you in the right way. Okay, I think we have time to probably tackle one more. So let me just sit here for one more minute for those of you who are just getting it on, and then we'll try one more question for tonight, and then we can move on to triangles. I think we're moving on to triangles next. My brain is betraying me. Okay, let's try our last one for tonight. Let's see who can get these ones. Let's see who can get both X and both Y right. How exciting would that be? It'll be very exciting. Maybe more exciting for me, but I will be very excited. Yes, absolutely. Good luck. I hope it goes well. Oh, it's too small for Y. Yes. Look at these answers. Yes. Okay. All on a straight line. And so 40 plus Y plus 60 has to equal 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line. Which means Y is equal to 180 minus 40 minus 60. So Y is equal to 80 degrees. Beautiful. Beautiful. I haven't seen the correct answer for X just yet. Oh, now I just have. As I said that. I'm seeing some nice answers for X that have just started coming in. Okay. So for X, I've got this straight line here again. Oh, you see, okay, I see why you're saying 60, and I'm so glad you said vertically opposite. They're actually not vertically opposite because this line is straight, but this line isn't straight. So they're not vertically opposite. So I'm really glad that you said that because now I know where the 60 was coming from. The only thing I can do for X is use my straight line, or I could have used angles around a point. So I could say X plus 4X is equal to 180 degrees, angles on a straight line, which means 5X is equal to 180 degrees. And then I'm going to divide that by 5, and so X is going to equal 36. So a big congratulations to those of you who got it right. If you did the vertically opposite for X, I'm really glad you made that mistake because now you know, remember, they have to be straight lines. And that brings us to the end of our lesson 2 of geometry. So I am going to pass the mic on to Tula. And I hope everyone has a lovely evening, and I will see you all again on Monday.
Hello, grade nines. Thank you very much, Miss G. I'm just gonna run through. I'm just gonna run through the slides quickly, guys. Just to make sure that we finish in a few minutes. And remember that if you don't have time to take down all the notes and all the answers here, you can always go back to watobe.co.za, and we have everything on there. And so you can go back and watch previous lessons. And so yeah, you don't have to feel any sort of pressure or feel sad if you miss anything particularly from these slides. Just gonna quickly run through this. Yes, so we just finished our second lesson, and we still have quite a number of lessons to go. We have 6 lessons to go. So yeah, I think consistency is going to be very important for this one, you guys. So make sure that you attend all of these so that you, by the 29th of September, you fully know geometry and you're feeling comfortable and confident. So make sure that you do the quizzes, you do the homework that we give you, you watch the lessons, and you just stay on top of your work so that you can be able to ace it in school. So I'll see you guys on Monday. We'll see you guys on Monday on the 13th of September, where we'll be doing parallel lines. So come prepared for that. And the honorable mentions for this week. Congrats to these superstars. It would be nice for you guys to switch on your videos so I see your faces as I call your names. Penyo, Neo, Kulegani, Simiso, Alexis, Tinashe, Lulama, Ozoma. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Remember, to those who are new, hey Simiso. To those who are new to Watobi, remember that this is an indication of the people who did lessons on the app, who did the highest number of lessons. And we encourage that so that you can solidify your learning, and you don't have to be the best in maths. You don't have to understand everything. You just need to try. You just need to do activities and do your best. Even if you get them wrong, it doesn't matter to us as long as you tried. So yeah, I hope I'll see more names next time. I always want to see the 5 full columns here. So yeah, hopefully next time I'll see you guys. So congrats. And then so this is basically the same as the one from Monday because we had the same topic. So remember to go to Geometry of Straight Lines on your Watobi app. Click on there, scroll all the way down to intersecting lines, and these are the two topics. Maybe take a screenshot of this now or just note it down. Equations with complementary and supplementary angles, equations with vertically opposite angles. So make sure that you watch the lessons there and do the quizzes and stuff. So this is basically your homework for the week, okay? So make sure that you do this so you just consolidate your learning. So I think that's it for me. Miss Shi, I don't know if you have anything to add. Okay. So I think it's this is the end of our lesson today. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you and the rest of your week actually. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye.
Bye, everyone.